Grab yourself a glass of eggnog because Christmas is coming to New World. Let's talk about it. What's good? What's popping, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Like I just said, there is Christmas coming to New World, or I should say a winter wonderland kind of thing. So it is another PTR coming in, though. This is unofficial patch notes for the PTR that's about to drop. It's going to drop tomorrow, and we're going to go over it today. It has some new event stuff for the month of December, plus some more balance changes and kind of pretty big changes, actually. So stick around to the end because we're going to that's at the later of the article. We'll talk about it then. So like I said, this is going to be another PTR, though. And for a quick little TLDR about PTR, we'll talk about it here. It is going to be open tomorrow, December 3rd at 10 a.m. PT or 6 p.m. UTC. Servers are limited at the start, and there will be one world available for US East and one world available in Central Europe. So if you guys aren't familiar with the PTR, we already had one with Into the Void. Anyone can join in, but it is a limited amount of spaces. So if you want to try to get into it, you want to get into it as early as possible, and expect to encounter some bugs and stuff like that because it is the PTR. Now this is all unofficial patch notes and stuff, so stuff probably will change, or hopefully will change if there are some problems before it goes live. So that's kind of the point of the PTR and what we can expect out of it. So going into it, like we said, this is a new limited time content though, and some other permanent changes. So this is called the Winter Convergence Festival. Now, as you can see here, we got a Yeti, some really cool stuff, Christmas packages, all winter themed. Now, the Winter Convergence Festival is the holiday of the Winter Convergence has arrived in Eternum, marked by the appearance of the increased snowfall and northern lights in the sky, aka Aurora Borealis. This is a time of duality and dichotomy as Yeti, the Winter Wanderer, comes to the land. While in the settlements, gifts are exchanged to mark the passing of the year. Outside the safety of the walls, there rages a wintry war between the positive forces of winter, slumber and perseverance, championed by the Winter Wanderer's positive side, and the negative forces of winter's death and stagnation, are championed by the Winter Wanderer negative side. Now, that sounds a little crazy right there, but I think they kind of mistyped that. The player takes on the cause of the Winter Wanderer to collect winter tokens from repeatable events across the land, able to turn them into a holiday shop containing rare and cosmetic items. The Winter Wanderer's positive aspect grows in power with each token collected and turned in. Icy winds and the Winter Wanderer bring with them new armors, weapons, furnishings, skins, consumables, and a delightful present gifting emote, all themed off the wonderful Eternum holiday of Winter Convergence. So this is an overview of this kind of Winter Wonderland kind of convergence that's happening. That's going to be just for the month of December, from my understanding. Now, the Winter Villages is first up, and there's going to be 4 of them. They're going to be spread across the Eternum and Everfall, Monarch's Bluff, Weaver's Fen, and Brightwood. And there's where you can get the quests, the holiday quests. So Winter Convergence activities, the Convergence Spirit. Celebrate the spirit of the season by giving a helping hand and decorating your favorite settlement. The Convergence Spirit is a special town project that allows players to complete special town project quests in order to upgrade each settlement's tree of light for improved daily rewards. Lost present recovery. Those dastardly frigid folk are spreading their mischief and stealing presents across Eternum. Located throughout the world are lost presents to be recovered and turned in for winter tokens at the Winter Village's holiday huts. Gleamite collecting. Bright, glittering, and gleaming gleamite, let's try saying that 5 times fast, meteors of multitude of color fall from the night sky during this time of year, as destructive as they are beautiful. Gleamite showers are a new random dynamic event that occurs at night throughout Eternum. Keep your eyes and ears open as you search for locations where the showers are most prevalent. Exchange the harvested crystals for winter tokens at the winter holiday huts. Happy hunting! So essentially, this is all how you can get tokens to kind of upgrade and kind of sway the way of the event, as well as upgrading your Christmas tree for your settlements. And moving on to Ice Caves. As we can see here, we look like you've seen these endings before. They're reskinned. It's still really cool looking, though. Ice Caves are appearing all over Eternum due to the Winter Warrior's desire for a forever winter. They are snowy and icy caves that the Yeti use their powers to freeze up and make snowfall. The rest of Eternum will look like these caves. Ice Caves, if the onslaught of the warrior is not stopped. These caves will remain behind after the event as scars on the land, sources of the wintry magic that refuse to melt even if the warrior is defeated. So let's talk about that for a second. This means that they are finally adding some permanent changes to the map, and this kind of forebodes what's going to happen in the future. They're not afraid in the future content to make permanent kind of changes to the land, whether it's settlements are going to get kind of either upgraded or destroyed, or more ice caves are being made, or hills, or more like underwater areas. Like, they're not afraid to expand and change the landscape, which is really, really cool. Now moving on to new content. So along with the new quests for the activity, right, there's also the several new side story territory quests offered in Restless Shore and Morningdale. This update also introduces a new quest series associated with housing. After you completed the main story quest, Encroaching Corruption, seek out Architect Giacomo Altivedo, whatever, near your starting settlement to begin the quest series. Further quests with Giacomo will be unlocked as you level up and progress your Terra storage standing. So there's some more side stories. They don't really say what the side stories are going to entail, but they're pretty cool. But the thing that I'm pretty interested in here is that there's now a housing quest line. I don't know if that means that you're going to be getting some housing rewards, if you're going to get some free chests, maybe they give you another discount on a house. We don't know, but it's still really cool. We'll find out more details about that tomorrow. So there's new journal categories. New quest categories have been added to the journal for epic weapons and armor quests and for skill progression quests. This update is accompanied by new map pins for all quest types. This is a really cool little update. Now, one of the biggest, I think, game-changing stuff, or this is pretty much, is the expertise and gypsum system. So based on the High Watermark system feedback, our desire to have a compelling and diverse endgame, we've made some major updates to the endgame. We've added a new resource called Gypsum that can be acquired each day by doing a variety of activities: open world named bosses, expedition bosses, outpost rush, arenas, corrupted breaches, etc. Each activity rewards a different type of gypsum that can be crafted into a gypsum orb. These orbs can then be crafted into gypsum casts of any weapon, armor, or trinket type. Opening a gypsum cast will guarantee an expertise bump and gear off the type. Now you might be asking, what is expertise? They say here, we have also renamed High Watermark to expertise. Thank God, that was a weird word. And now display the current expertise level of each slot on your avatar in the inventory, so players can easily track their progress. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a huge thing that people wanted to know and were waiting for, including myself, and I'm very happy this is finally here. We also show a level banner anytime your expertise level increases. This is awesome. They're adding finally some more clarity to the High Watermark system and changing it. Now it says they've also added 2 new endgame POIs where players can challenge themselves with difficult content and try to progress their expertise with level 66 enemies and elite chests. Both Malevolence, Eden Grove, and the Imperial Palace / North Dynasty Shrine have been upped to level 66. So this is really great. I think this is really great and a step in the right direction for the endgame kind of grind and system. They're adding this new source of gypsum that you can, it's almost like another sense of like drops, right? You get this other drop that if you get enough of them, you can make an orb to get guaranteed increases. So it's not like replacing, right? It's not replacing other drops you can get. It's just adding more chances to get increased drops, which I think is really great. It makes the endgame grind a little bit more compelling. And something here that you might have just kind of brushed over, because I did the first time reading this, it says open world named bosses. Now I just did a video earlier today about our boy Turducken, or whatever his name is, Turkellen, the monster turkey, right? And how he was like in the first kind of open world boss, and how we're going to probably be seeing more, especially one during the Christmas event. Now, they don't say that they have one during the Christmas event, but again, they didn't tell us about the turkey in the first place. So I have a feeling that they're going to be having one in here. So keep your eye out for that. And I think it's going to probably be the Yeti or some variation of a Yeti to be taken down. But this is really cool because, like I was thinking earlier, they're going to be adding more open world bosses, and they want this to be an integral part of how you play the game. So it's really cool to see that this is a way that we are going to be able to continue to progress in the end game system, along with, expedition bosses, outpost rush, arenas, and all that stuff. And so I think this is a really great change overall. And I'm glad that we can finally see our expertise level. I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting for that. So now trade skill aptitude. This is another huge change and update. So we want to continue rewarding the efforts you make to craft items for yourself, your friends, or to make a buck on the trading post. So we have introduced trade skill aptitude. Upon reaching level 200 in a trade skill, the leveling circle will update to show 3 markers equidistant from each other on the circle. Earning trade skill XP will begin progressing you again, and when you reach one of these markers, you will be rewarded with a container of useful items that are mostly trade skill relevant, such as craft mods, special ingredients, and even schematics or recipes. Each subsequent marker awards a more spectacular container with more rewards than the one before. Gaining enough XP to go all the way around the circle will increment the aptitude counter by 1. This counter will be counting so you can keep track of how many times you've wrapped your progression around to the top level. We've also introduced a new type of reward in the system, equipment patterns. Equipment patterns are crafting artifacts that enable you to craft a guaranteed 600 item that has a specific appearance. Patterns require a significant amount of powerful crafting resources to create, but guarantee a 600 gear stop item. Patterns will still roll perks, and players have the normal amount of control over their outcome with craft mods and Azoth. Equipment patterns have a small chance to drop Arcana, weaponsmithing, armoring, and engineering aptitude reward caches. So really big changes to trade skill, right? So they're finally rewarding us for hitting 200, and you can continue doing on. I don't know about you guys, but I have quite a few 200 skills, and it's just like not worth it afterwards to really worry about the trading. Now you can, because if you're using it to make money or crafting stuff in general, you're going to get more progress to it. You're going to get better resources. And it says here that you're going to get more spectacular container with the more you progress. And after you get all 3, the little equidistant lines, they continue to do it. It's not just stopping there. So it's really cool to see that they're increasing it. Now, hopefully the rewards are, equal to how much time and effort you put into it. And hopefully it's not too much of a grind. Like getting 200 was hard before. Now it's a little bit harder because of the crafting changes. And so hopefully it's not like just a limitless grind that doesn't actually feel like any rewarding. So I'm really excited to see this though. And then this equipment patterns is really interesting. It's a different way to craft, right? So before we had the chance to get a 600 gear score item, it still requires quite a bit of resources, but you could control how much, you had on the weapon with the crafting mods and Azoth and stuff like that, but you couldn't guarantee 600. Now you can guarantee 600, but it's a lot more resources. Now we're going to have to see exactly how much more resources, but it's really cool because it gives you two different variations of how to craft. It gives you either a chance to get a guaranteed 600, but you have to grind a little bit more, buy some more materials, but it's guaranteed, or you can still do, the chance and luck it to get between like a 590 and 600 or whatever with less resource. So it's a really cool change in my opinion. Now there's some PvP balance changes. Now this isn't really, there's not a lot of, there's no weapon changes, but it's the kind of the systems and how you play it. So due to an issue in our initial PvP damage formula that caused lower gear to be more beneficial in damage mitigation, we have updated our formula. We look forward to hearing your feedback on this update. PvP damage formula update. We've adjusted the way armor mitigation is calculated to use enemy's gear score value instead of your average gear score. That's really good. To adjust for the difference in armor mitigation, we increase the damage low-level players due to higher-level players and reduce the damage the higher-level players do to lower damage level players. So right here, we're going to talk about this for a second. Now, I don't know if you guys played in closed beta, open betas, whatever, but they've changed the kind of the gap, right? Before the PvP skill balance, kind of before it was like really easy for a level 20 to kill level 60. And then people didn't like that, so they changed it, and then it was pretty much impossible, even if somebody was even a couple levels ahead of you, to even combat them in PvP. And now it seems like they're trying to make it skill-based again, rather than just being a level or gear score and stuff like that. Hopefully that kind of stuff still matters, being level 60 and grinding and getting your gear score, so you're not just, you don't just get wiped with by a 20 or level 30 with like no gear score or anything. But I'm glad they're kind of making it more back to being about skill and stuff, because it's also kind of demoralizing as a lower level player to be going through and you have a band of, let's say, 60 players running around that you just never have a chance to, and they just consistently gank you and makes a unfun player experience. But now you have a chance to fight back if you are skilled enough, so that's cool. And they're also changing the crit damage application. So crit damage bonuses from master racer perks are now applied additively instead of multiplicatively. On average, this will reduce the extra damage they provide by a small percentage. So essentially, think about it this way: if something gave you like 10% more crit, and then you got another 20% on top of that, it was 10% plus, and then another 20% multiplicatively. Now it's just additionally, right? So it's going to reduce it by a little bit, not necessarily crazy amounts, but it's going to make it a little bit reduced, and which kind of sucks for us like fire staff users, because it was already nerfed with crit and everything, so it's a little bit more of a nerf, but I think it's a good change overall. And then buffer windows. A general consistency pass has been done across all weapons to adjust the buffering windows for dodges, abilities, and basic attacks. The updated buffer window starts when the first frame of the attack that would deal damage, or on the first casting frame in the case of abilities that do not deal damage. So this is really cool. If you don't know like buffer windows and stuff, or like animation canceling, essentially people could find ways to kind of animation cancel is hard. If you know what it is, it's easy to understand. If you don't, it's kind of hard. It's like if you are using the ability, you can cancel the animation of the ability with using like a basic attack or another ability or something like that. So they're just kind of changing how the windows work to make it a little bit more consistent, which is nice because some people were able to find exploits. So one of these is a good example is when you dodge and you sheath or unsheath your weapon. That's considered like animation canceling, right? Because usually a dodge, you have a little bit of a stutter when you get back up, but the sheathing or unsheathing of your weapon canceled that. So that's an example of it, and they're just kind of making it consistent across the board. They haven't obviously given details, so we're gonna have to see exactly what it means, but that's a general way to think about it. So overall, guys, I think that's gonna do it. I'm actually really excited about this. I was saying my last couple of videos ago that this December update was hopefully gonna be really big, because the last November update of the month wasn't very big. So I'm really glad they're adding some more stuff. I would like to see maybe a little bit more. And this is obviously all still not official patch notes. This is what's going into the game for sure, but they might add some more during the PTR. They might change some stuff, take some stuff away. So none of this is permanent, but this is a really great starting point, and I'm really excited for it. I really like this limited time event. I was wondering when they were finally going to do like a full event into the game, because they had Halloween skins. We thought they were going to do a Halloween event. They didn't. They added Turkledon after after Thanksgiving. So I'm glad they're starting this early so we can really enjoy an event, and it's like changing the entire landscape, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys are excited for this. I know New World's been in a weird state, but I'm having really high hopes for this, and this gives me a lot of hope. The high watermark system being changed to expertise, and this new gypsum system is really cool. And I like the way that they're now giving you more benefits for continuing to level up trade skills and stuff. So overall, I'm really happy with this. Let me know all your guys' thoughts, opinions, everything, concerns down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Like this video if you guys did enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. We got a great community going on over here, so why not be part of it? And I think that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Until next time, take it easy.